Hello. I am sorry that I am eating my dinner while you're on here. We had a live earlier today at 10 we go live. We went live at 3 Central Standard Time. And I went right into editing a podcast video for you guys. And went right from that to here. So, how are we doing tonight? This is going to be a shorter live. We're going to be on for an hour, maybe a little less. I am sick, so my throat is not doing too great after the last live stream. There was a lot of coughing, very hard coughing. So we'll see how long I can stick it out today, or tonight rather. So if you were not on the earlier one, I don't know how to see who is on here. I know who was on my earlier one. Let's see. That does not help me out at all. So I'm not sure who's on, but on our last one, we talked about what we were going to do, how we were going to set up our next videos, our future episodes. If you are new to the Sanditon Chronicles, thank you for joining us. Welcome. We are a podcast that talks about the show Sanditon. If you are new here, let me know in the chat who you are, what brought you to join us today. If you are not a subscriber, please remember to subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to get you interviews with the cast and crew of the show. Once this actor strike is over, we'll start reaching out to people again. But we talked about what our episodes are going to look like in the future. We're going to do a 9-episode rotation. So once a month, we'll be talking about Emily in Paris. We will be handling half of a season at a time. There's 3 seasons out currently. A 4th one will be on the way. 1 week a month, we'll be doing Outlander with our guest, Denise. She was on before. If you didn't see that episode, you can watch our podcast where we had a guest on with Janice and I. We'll be talking about Outlander once a week for the 7 seasons that it's on. It's currently its 8th. Thanks, Kim. I don't feel great, but that's all right.
Can I share with you?
Yes, my daughter would like to join us today, so she's going to come join us. She's been needing some extra mommy time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sniffle right into the microphone there. But we are going to be doing once a month Outlander, or not once a month. It's a 9-week rotation. So we're going to do, this is our 9-week schedule. We used to, I don't know if you remember back when we first started, we used to do character spotlight, then a relationship dynamic, and then a recap, and then an interview is how we tried to do it. And it's going to be the same sort of rotation, but we're going to do Emily in Paris half of a season at a time, Outlander 1 season at a time, Jane Austen a newer adaptation, followed by Sanditon interviews when we can start getting them. And then we're going to do Jane Austen adaptations older, because we were looking it up on the last podcast that we did earlier today at 3, the last live stream. And there's a lot of 1995 versions of Jane Austen's shows. For instance, this coming out, I don't know when the podcast will be out. I don't know if it'll be out Sunday. I think they've been coming out on Tuesdays, maybe Wednesdays. Let me know when you guys are watching the podcast. I'm not sure when they're coming out. But our usual day, it was Sundays. I just, with this new podcast host, I haven't been able to, and it's not them, it's me. I honestly cannot remember when I am getting them out because things are a blur. But it's a learning progress for me. It's a learning curve that I have to go through, uploading the videos there, editing it. Tuesday, you've been seeing it, Kim. Thank you for that. So Tuesday, you'll be getting our comprehensive view of the entire Sanditon series. Oh, you got a little shiner on your forehead. You got 2 shiners on your forehead. And then we are giving you 1995 version of Pride and Prejudice. You should have just watched the 2005 version. Kim, I know you said that you watched it. But the 1995 recap review is coming out after this week. And it'll be a 2-parter most likely, because that's a 5-hour-long version. Followed by, we'll be comparing the 2. And then we will be reviewing holiday Sanditon fan fiction. After that, we're going to take a month-long break. And bless you. And then we're going to go into this. So we'll start with Emily in Paris, half a season at a time. Then we'll move into Outlander with our guest, Denise. She will be with us for the entire duration of the Outlander chat, which should be 7. Eventually, it will be 8 of them. I think when we move into the 8th season, when it comes out, we'll do weekly recaps like we did with Sanderson when the season was live. And then we'll do, after those episodes, we'll do a Jane Austen adaptation, the new one. Then we'll go into Sanderson interviews. Oh, that's why I brought that up, because Sanderson adaptation's the older one. So we're gonna do a 1995 version, because that's what a lot of them are. Of course, if there's not a 1995 version, we'll just pick an older version of something. Can you please stop showing like that? Thank you. We'll just pick an older version. And then the week after that, we'll compare the newer version of it to the older version of it. And I've got to make my list. I know that Susan, who is a longtime supporter, Kim, you're a longtime supporter too, and we so appreciate you. I was telling Susan this on the last one we had earlier today, but Kim, you've been with us, I'm pretty sure, since the beginning. I think you've been with us for the last 2 years, really. And you've been a huge support and a huge encouragement. I think you've been on almost all of the lives that we've had, even when we were on Podbean, I think. So we really, really appreciate your encouragement and your support. But we have a Susan request that we talk Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility. Sense and Sensibility is my second favorite Austen adaptation. My first is obviously Pride and Prejudice. I think you guys have figured that out over the years. But she wanted to talk Persuasion. And I know there's a 1995 version of both of those. So we'll be talking those. The 1995 version of Sense and Sensibility is the one with Emma Thompson. And the 1995 version of Persuasion, I don't know that I know that the woman in it is Mrs. Foster from the 1995 Pride and Prejudice, but that's the 1995 version of Persuasion. And then we know that there was the Persuasion that came out a couple years ago with Dakota Johnson. So we'll be talking that. And then the Sense and Sensibility, I guess there was a series that came out in 2008 that I've never seen. But we can stream that on Netflix and Peacock. And all these Jane Austen adaptations that we'll let you know where to watch them before we do it. So the whole month we're taking off is going to be a research month. And then once in this rotation, we're going to do Sanderson fan fiction, and we'll be taking 1 episode per 9 episode rotation, or per 8. It's going to be 8 until we get interviews back on. We'll be talking Sanderson possibilities. So we'll be going over characters and what could happen with their storyline. We'll take Augusta and what we think she's doing, or what we want to see her do, and the same thing with Leo and Georgiana Otis, that sort of thing. So you guys can comment on that. It'd be nice to make those our lives, because then you guys can chime in and talk with us. I think we might make those alive. So we'll do a live. We do have to do a live every month for our members. So if you have purchased a membership, we do a members only live, which is, only members can comment. But Denise likes it when everybody can comment, especially because we only have 2 members right now total. So it's kind of hard when it's just one of them on and just me. So we do that live, but then we'll make the Sanity Possibilities live as well. And then Susan also suggested doing a Sydney and Colburn comparison. And we do that a little bit on the one you guys are getting next week, or this week rather. But we'll do one that's dedicated to that, make it like 45 minutes ish. And then we're going to do cast new projects. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that is 9. And then it'll be 8 without that. But we'll review one of their, like Rose Williams has one on Netflix right now called Locked In, and we're going to review that here, but we'll also review it on FFC. So, which is my other podcast that I do, where we talk about shows. Right now we're talking a lot of streaming shows because the writer's strike has ended, but the actor strike is still ongoing. So we review the Chicago shows weekly. And so we just had to restructure, and now we're doing like Netflix stuff. So I need to I'm going to blow my nose, so I stop sniffling on the microphone. I was going to say, Kim, I think it's just you and me right now, but we just had a second person join, and I didn't reach out to Janice because I think that she said she wasn't available tonight to record. So I don't think that she is actually available to be on tonight. And then I also was running late because I was editing a podcast that I just finished long enough to grab dinner and come in here. So So Kim, I'm going to ask you, I don't know if you left before I asked this. I think you must have left before I asked this question. Is there any Sanditon related things that you would like to see us cover that we maybe haven't in the last 2 years? I can't think of it, but I mean, that's not saying a whole lot. So I think before we even hit a year, I already had cancer before we even hit a year. So I mean, I was going through treatment. So I can't remember a whole lot of what we might have missed. I feel like we did a pretty comprehensive thing, but I think a lot of it in the relationship dynamics. I don't think we talked a lot about people not romantically linked. Like we talked about even Edward and Esther, they were romantically linked. So we did one on them, but it's hard because I mean they were romantically linked, but they weren't really. It was all kind of a sham. I think we did do an episode of the Parkers. I feel like we did an episode of the Parker Brothers, but I don't remember. I think that might have been one of our earliest ones. So what? There are only two of you on right now. So is there something that you guys can think of that you would like us to dive deeper into? And when we do these deep dives, we do a little research. We watch their scenes. We look at everything, all the background, all the nonverbals, which you know is our sweet spot. So we look at all that stuff before we do a deep dive into a subject. Sweetheart, stop. So is there something that you guys can think of? I'm so sorry, but I'm going to eat my dinner while I'm on this live. It seems so inappropriate. I'm used to Janice and I'll usually have a snack when I record with Janice, but I edit all that stuff out so you guys don't see it. So this is a newer thing. Got no makeup on, and I'm eating dinner on here. Sorry about that.
I thought you always had to have makeup on.
I like to have makeup on. I usually look so tired. Well, I want to keep talking, but there's only so much I can talk about. I've already been on one of these today. So I'd like to hear from you guys. The reason we did 2 lives today, which is kind of, I didn't think it'd be a big deal. We were originally going to do 2 lives on Sunday, and I felt fine on Saturday, but this sweet little peanut right here coughed openly in my face on Saturday night. And Sunday I got real sick, and it's all just settled in different places now. So Kim says, I would like to know what Diana would have done to help Charlotte get faster to the happily ever after. Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, because Diana laughed before her. I don't feel like her story was really, I mean, they kind of closed off her story, but not in a way that there's no other possibilities for her. I mean, yeah, we knew that she made the comment, it's always so much better to be at home. I can't wait to be home, and that sort of thing, hinting that she does not like Sanditon. She'd rather be in London. But I think there's so much more for her, especially when we see her resolve at the fire and how much Parkers stick together. They are Parkers and they stick together. And I think that she would have wanted to help Sydney find a way out of this. I think she would have put a bigger stop to it, maybe. I mean, yeah, they celebrate his engagement to Eliza, but that's because they think that that's what he wants. But I have a feeling that if she spent a little more time with him, I think that when something is tragic, she can hone in on it very well. And I think because like we see her as a hypochondriac throughout the whole thing, right? We see her kind of babying Arthur, making sure that he does everything the way that she feels is safe and good and hopeful for him. But when tragedy struck with the burnt building, she showed a resolve that we hadn't seen before. So I think if she would have spent more time around Sydney, if we could have seen that, I think that she would have noticed how unhappy he was, and I think she and Mary would have found a way. So I think that's a great idea. I'm gonna write that one down. We could look into those possibilities. I gotta label these because this is just not going to work. I don't have any of the episodes labeled other than 1 week, and they all say 1 week. Okay, so Diana helps Charlotte happy. And those are the ones that will be lives. So Kim, I hope we'll make sure that you can be on that one so you can help us discuss. I get a cough. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, I just sniffled again. Man, I wouldn't mind it so much if it wasn't so loud. Okay, so we were originally going to do the 2, and the reason we were going to do 2, stop, please. Don't do that. The reason we were originally going to, or the reason we decided to do 2, thank you, was because we have some European listeners, and I know that it's kind of hard for me when my kids are home to do anything earlier than 2, and we had originally it was going to be 3:00 because I watch sports, so we have to wait till after a football game, and our football game starts at 12 and they last until 3. So that's why we usually start our lives, by the way, at 3 or 3:30. But Janice is 2 hours behind me, and her football games usually don't end until 2 hours after mine end. So it's tricky to do lives on Sundays. That's why a lot of our lives she hasn't been on unless it's January to August, because football interferes with that stuff for both of us. So I thought, oh, okay, well, since we're moving it to Friday, we'll change it. And I had something else come up that I had to be at. So we wanted to make sure that our European people could be on by 3, which is 9:00 in the evening their time. We were hoping to be on at 8 their time, and then we decided to do 7:00 as well so that we could get our American listeners who might be getting out of work. So there's someone else who's joined. Welcome to the chat. We're talking what else you'd like to see us discuss at Sanditon Chronicles, because we do want to keep Sanditon in here, and we've revamped our schedule to a degree that we're talking Sanditon twice in 2 months. So roughly once a month, we're talking Sanditon, and we'll work it that way. So we'll talking Sanditon at least once a month, but it'll be different subject matter. Every 2 months, you'll get the same subject pop back up. Like we'll the Sanditon lives where we're talking possibilities that will come up every 2 months. And then the Sanditon fan fiction will also come up every 2 months. If we can find a third Sanditon topic, we'll do that. So we'll do every 3 months. The fan fiction will come up every 3 months. The Sanditon lives, when we're talking about possibilities, will come up. You get the gist. So we do want to keep Sanditon in the rotation at the very least once a month. But we are realizing that Sanditon's over, so we have to move on a little bit. Would Belgravia be a discussion option? It could be. Monique, can you tell me a little bit about Belgravia? Is it a show? Is it a movie? Where can we watch it? Because so far, we've got Emily in Paris, and that's because Janice has watched that. She loves it. And Janice and I usually have the same interests. So she was telling me I have to watch it so we can discuss it, because she and I discuss things in depth, and it's hard to find people who will do that with you. So, and then Outlander was Denise's idea. She's another one of our listeners. She's one of our members. And she did she was a guest podcaster with us one week. I think it was back in June or July. If you have not seen that, go ahead and watch that. We just had our opinions about Sanditon. It was kind of a free-for-all discussion, so it ran a little long. But these will be more structured. So yeah, we're open to anything as long as it kind of fits within. Season 1 has been out a while. Season 2 will be coming out with Sophie. Ooh, okay. Yeah, we are open to talking certainly anything with the actors of Sanditon in it. Yes, we'd love that. Okay, so there'll be 2 seasons. Is it season 2 on hold because of the actor strike, or is this something on BBC that's not affected by the SAG strike? I think that could be interesting. Just the title alone has me kind of interested. It's on BritBox. Okay. Brit. Have you seen it too, Kim? Belgravia with Sophie Winkleman. I love Sophie too. She was one of the people who said she was willing to be interviewed by us, but then we had to put it on hold because they were just about to start filming. So it'd be great to chat with her. I would love that. I think she is just such a phenomenal actress. Yeah, I think we can absolutely make Belgravia work. And Monique, if this is something that you wanted to come on and chat, like Denise, she thought of Outlander. So she is going to come on whenever we talk about Outlander. That'll be once every 2 months. Denise will come on with us for that. Oh, season 2 will be out soon. Okay, good, 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 good. But if you want to come on and just stop moving, please. If you want to come on and talk with us, sorry, I wear glasses. Usually, you guys don't really usually see me in glasses because my screen reflects off them and it drives me crazy. So I'm trying to read small print from kind of far away, so I look insane. Okay, so Monique, if you wanted to be on with us for those discussions, you are welcome to join us and help us talk about it. Absolutely. I'm going to look that up right now. Let's see how many episodes there are in a season because we can make that work for sure.
Are you done yet?
No, I'm not done. Oh, it's a period piece. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's an Epix original series. Okay. Well, there's only 6 episodes per season. Yeah, we could absolutely we can even do that one an episode at a time. Okay. Yeah, so we are gonna, Monique, I don't know if you were here for the beginning, but we're gonna take a month off from roughly December 3rd until probably the second week of January. We have to get there's a big youth event that I'm a youth leader at our church. So there's a big youth event that we go to every year. So it's after that, it's usually the first or second week of January. After that, we'll come back with some episodes and we'll work this into our schedule and we'll try to get some feelers out over who wants to talk about it. But I wrote your name down and I can send you. Monique, will you email us at the.sandersonchronicles@gmail.com so I have your contact information, and then when we're gonna film a Belgravia one, we'll work with you on a time that works for you. But that looked really good. It's on BritBox, and it's an Epix original series. Okay, I love all these ideas you guys are giving us, and this is on our other on the other podcast I run. This is what we do is we just review a boatload of shows. Right now we're doing streaming stuff because of the strikes. So we're reviewing a whole bunch of stuff on Hulu and Peacock and Netflix because we don't have any shows to recap or review. So this is great. This is what I'm familiar with. 6 episodes per series or per season. So that'll be at least 6 episodes. And when Outlander hasn't filmed their 8th season yet, but when season 2 of this comes out, we can do recaps every week when that's popping out. This little girl misses her mama, so she's joining on the live today. I've been kind of busy today, so she hasn't got time with me. Oh, I got a cough. I always have a moment of panic where I think I haven't muted the microphone. Okay, so this is great. We've got Emily in Paris. We've got Outlander. We've got Belgravia. We've got Jane Austen adaptations, Sanditon fan fiction, Sanditon possibilities, and cast projects. So I'm excited to see Sophie Winkleman in something else. I've only seen her in a couple of things, and obviously one of them is Sanditon. But I feel like there was I'm trying to think of what else I saw her, and I feel like it was not dystopian, but I feel like I saw her. I don't know why, but I'm thinking of her in like a leather jacket. That's probably weird, but that's how I'm picturing her. Where is she at on this list? Oh, okay. Victoria is another one that that Janice wanted to talk about, I think, and I wanted to do Death Comes to Pemberley because I know it's not Jane Austen, but it's my people. So, hey, okay, you took my earphone out. Can I have my earphone, please? Not that I really need it. Where is her name? Okay. Sorry, I'm making a whole bunch of noise over here. So Death Comes to Pemberley is one we want to talk about. And Victoria. I think the reason I thought of Victoria, the girl who plays Lydia in Death Comes to Pemberley, is the lead in Victoria. 2. And I'm a sucker for historical fiction. Like the Regency is maybe my favorite time period of all time. I love it. I cannot get enough of it. And I know Victoria is not Regency, it's the Victorian era. But anything Regency, Victorian, Edwardian, all those historical fictions. I'll eat it up. And my favorite, I was a history minor in college. Not that I do anything with that. But the 50s is like, I used to say the 50s is my favorite time period. But when it comes to reading, when it comes to watching shows, like it's the Regency and that time period that has my heart. In fact, I think Victorian and Edwardian are in the Regency period, aren't they? Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not. I love history, but I do not claim to be an expert. Is there anything else you guys would like us to discuss? Anything Sanderson that we've missed? If you have any ideas for possibilities, we'll let you know ahead of the lives which possibilities we're going to be talking about, so you guys can formulate your ideas and you can come on and chat with us. And I don't know if there is a way on YouTube to have, I know if you're on your phone, if you're doing YouTube on your phone, we can have guest people come on to YouTube and say your piece, but I don't like recording from my phone because it's too small of a screen. I prefer my computer where I can go between things. But maybe that's something that I'll start doing just to see if people want to come on and just say their piece of what they think happens, or we can just do the chat. We'll figure that out as we go. But I know Janice doesn't particularly like doing it on her phone either. I think I gotta take a bite. Yeah, I do think they're both in, because it's just about when Queen Victoria was and King Edward was, right? But I'm pretty sure that it's the whole Regency area or era. Sometimes I check myself on that because I know when I interviewed Paula Byrne, or maybe she said Georgian, but I can't remember what she said. But we were talking about how Jane Austen, when she died, they were going into a different. She was going into a different era, and so sometimes I'm like, oh wait, no, these are two different. But I don't think they are. I think it's just based off of who was. They separate by who is ruling England at the time. Whenever I'm on here, I always feel like, oh wow, not much time has gone by, but then I look and time has gone by. It's we've been on for about 40 minutes so far. We've got about 20 more minutes. Is there any other things that you guys want to talk about that you think we should be talking about, that you think Janice and I should be more on the ball on? Monique, I don't know if you're still on, but I think it's just you and me right now, Kim. Or maybe not. You're the only one listed. Well, it says there's two people listening, so. And Kim, did you say 2005 was your favorite version of Pride and Prejudice? Or did you say 95? I don't remember what you said earlier today. I feel like you said 2005 was your favorite, which would be the right choice. It's getting late for my little girl here. Her bedtime is in about 15 minutes, and that's why I'm going to jump off and I'm going to take her upstairs. I'll probably finish my dinner at some point. Oh, 95. Okay. Yeah. You weren't the one who commented on the post, though. It was somebody else who commented on there. That's what you said. You liked both for different reasons. That's what it was. That's what I remember you saying. Just took me a minute to bring me back. I can't wait to hear what you say about our 1995 reveal, because I do have a hot take on Colin Firth that I don't think many people are going to agree with. Although, again, I love Colin Firth. Anytime I see that he's in something, I will watch it simply because he's in it. Kind of backfires sometimes, but I love Colin Firth. In fact, I don't know. My daughter has been listening to Christmas music since November 1st because it's Christmas time now, Mom. But I used to watch Love Actually every Christmas simply for Colin Firth's storyline, and because I think it's funny when Hugh Grant dances to that song. And believe it or not, Everybody Loves Christmas, that's a catchy tune. Only storylines I like about it. But I remember telling my friend how romantic Colin Firth's storyline is, and they were like, "What? How is that romantic?" Neither one of them spoke their other language. They didn't know anything about the other one. They were saying God knows what to each other, and then he asked her to marry her based on what? Oh, that's a good point. But because it was Colin Firth, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing. I love this." And so I've since realized the error of those ways. Are you sleepy? Yeah. I do too. I because you can almost like when you're watching the 1995 version, you could almost read the book to it. You mentioned on your earlier live an option to review scenes with different options where they could have gone with it. Different plots for better outcomes. On I was gonna say something like, "Oh, on this part," but I haven't released that podcast yet. But I think we mentioned something about that on our podcast we just recorded. Review scenes with different options where they could have gone with it. Oh, I think that's interesting. Sorry, I'm just gonna take a minute to write this down. I'll have to send this over to Janice. Okay. With different options. So like where she could have chosen between Stringer or Sydney and she chose Stringer instead of Sydney or something like that, you mean? Or how we would reorganize the story based on what we were given to get a better outcome. I think either is a good idea. Sorry, I know it's awkward when I'm just being silent, but I'm just writing this down. Different plots for better outcomes. Okay. I think that could be fun. And the hard thing is there are things, and you'll see me talk about this on the episode that you'll be getting this week, whether it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. I wish I could start getting it back on Sundays, but that's kind of up in the air at the moment. But one thing we talked about is that there are scenes that irritate me, not because they're bad, but because they feel like filler. And there are characters that we focus on that I feel like we don't need to. Again, not because they're bad or they aren't entertaining, but because there's different ways that we could have achieved the same result. But the other thing we came to the realization of is while that is absolutely true, I think that each new character got our favorite characters to the point they needed to get to end the series. So as much as they felt like, why are we introducing new people at this point? Let's flush out these other things. They pushed them to where they needed to go. That Kim says that would be interesting to discuss. How would Stringer and Charlotte be happy with each other? I think that would be interesting because Stringer is he's kind of like a Ralph, right? What if Sydney said no, but she didn't want to leave Sanditon, so she agreed to be with Stringer, although I don't think Stringer would deserve that. But what if? And what if I think Stringer could make her happy in like a friendly companion sort of way. I don't think either would make the other happy in a romantic sort of way because I think that she wants bigger things. I don't know if bigger is the right way to say that because I think Charlotte will be happy with Colburn. And honestly, I do think Sydney is the better match for her because I think he traveled more, he was in the world more, he was out more. Colburn, I think, is coming out of his shell, and I think that's why they will work together because he is a little more out of his shell, but he's still centered in Sanditon. But Sanditon it's a seaside town, so there's always people in and out of there. But I think that Stringer wanted he wanted to get out of Sanditon. He wanted to move out onto London. And I think once she fell in love with Sanditon, I don't think she'd want to leave. So I think that would be really interesting to flush that out. I have a sleeping child on me right now. Somebody said something else. Oh, there, right up there. And I think I'll lump Kim. I think I'll put that with what you said earlier of Charlotte, Diana helping Charlotte be happy. Or no, maybe we'll put that down here. I think that would match down here. You know, maybe Charlotte would have chosen Stringer when Sydney first pulled away. Maybe she wouldn't have given him a chance. Maybe she could have said yes to him at that dance. I think Stringer moved to London. They could both grow. Yeah, I agree. I think Stringer wanted to continually better himself and continually grow and continually move up in the world. And I don't think she cared so much about moving up as she did about exploring the world. But of course, how can you really explore the world if you don't have the funds or finances or status to do that, right? My daughter was in sports until recently, so this kid has not had her mom around. I'm a sports mom, so I'm always at a game. But her season just ended, and this is the first weekend that I've really been home with her, so she needed her mom tonight. Any other things you guys want to discuss? Otherwise, I might hop off so I can get her to bed because she's starting to slip and fall a little bit. What do you think, Kim and Monique? You got something else? Any other ideas you want me to write down? Kim, how was work? Were you on a break earlier? That's dedication, by the way. Good night, Monique. I'm so sorry that I'm eating on here, but I was muted earlier while I was trying to eat before anyone came on, but I wasn't fast enough. Which no one has ever said about me and eating. Okay, Kim, I think it's just you, me, Monique on, and Monique said goodnight. So I think we'll end it here-ish. With him getting a bigger job to better his life, funds and prospects. I agree, but would he ever stop trying to get better, trying to do more, trying to prove himself? I don't know that he would stop. And I think at some point, Charlotte would want her partner to stop and just be content with what he's achieved. Like, it's easy to say because Sydney was established already, though he didn't have a home. And Colburn already is established and has an estate, and he's good. But I think Stringer would have to continuously try to get better and continuously try to rise, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that I don't know how that would fit with Charlotte, but I think that's something that would be fun to flush out. This poor little thing. All right, Kim, I think it's just you and me right now. But I think I wrote down your ideas and I did put your name next to it in case you want to join us when we talk about those things. So if you do want to, email us and let me know which ones you want to participate in. Yes, we're going to go to sleep now. But email us and let me know what ones you want to participate in, and we'll make sure that we include you when we do our scheduling. But I think we're going to head out. Thank you, Kim, for joining us for both of our lives today. And these will be published later on as well. So I think that we will see you soon. We'll see you in a couple days. Bye, guys.